Welcome to the Grateful Pumpkin Virtual Paint Party, hosted by Orlando Nail Tech in collaboration with Orlando Art Co. So, the first thing first, we want to have our supplies all ready to go. So, in a minute, you're going to see the supply list pop up on the screen, but essentially, you're going to need paint, brushes, a canvas, and some miscellaneous items like paper plates to mix your paints, paper towels to wipe off your brush, and a cup of water to rinse the paint off your brush in between painting different sections. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. We have our canvas already pre-traced. If you purchased a canvas off of orlandoart.co, then you will have the same canvas here. The Grateful is written in permanent marker for the purpose of still being able to see through the paint once we paint our pumpkin. That is going to be our starting point, but you will not have to worry about trying to redraw the lettering because it is permanent marker and it will show through the acrylic paint. Always use acrylic paint for any of the virtual paint parties, and let's get going. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to mix yellow and orange. We're going to mix yellow and red to make orange, and then we're going to fill in our pumpkin. You can add more yellow or more red to customize the orange of your pumpkin. Do everything creatively and how you want it to come out. So you don't need to do the same exact orange that I'm doing here, and we're just going to fill that in. Okay, so once you have your pumpkin filled in, you may want to go back and add a little bit of white or black or any other color to adjust the color of your orange and give it a little bit of a highlight. I'm also going to have black and white on my palette, and I'm going to make two different grays, a darker gray and a light gray, and you can play around with black and white to get the color you want. And I'm going to be using this to fill in the checkerboard pattern of the ribbon that is tied on the top of this pumpkin. always remember you can use whatever color combination that you want. You do not have to use gray and black like I'm doing. Our reference photo doesn't even use gray and black. So be creative, and if it needs to match your decor, feel free to do that. I am showing you here how I am using the editor brush to do the outline of our ribbon. So if you have that flat brush, you're just going to hold your brush at a 45-degree angle and gently and carefully do the outline of your ribbon. You can do whatever color you want. You can mix colors together. You can give it an ombre effect. Just get creative and have fun. Don't worry about it looking perfect. The whole point of this is it's supposed to be a good time, something relaxing for you to do, something to distract you from anything that you may have going on in your life. Just have fun. So choose whatever colors you want and carefully do that outline. Now that we have our outline pretty much finished, we are going to come in with our green to do the stem of the pumpkin. So you're just going to mix yellow and blue until you get a green that you're satisfied with. It can be a lighter green, it can be a darker green, it can be more of a yellowish green. Whatever your heart desires, use blue and green, blue and yellow to make green. And you're just going to fill in the base of the stem as well as the top part of the stem. And then once you're done with that, you'll make a lighter color to come back and do a little bit of a highlight on the stem of the pumpkin. So here I am showing you the lighter green that I made to highlight the stem on my pumpkin, and it's just yellow and blue with white mixed in. So now we're gonna do our background. It's a checkerboard background, kind of to go with the theme of the checkerboard ribbon. You can put whatever colors you like. If you wanna do darker colors, lighter colors. I'm gonna do combination of dark gray, light gray, and orange. So I'm just gonna fill that in here. let's get into touch-ups and details. I'm just going to go over the outline of my ribbon with some white. The black that I used earlier is still a little bit wet, so I'm going to mix them together for kind of like an ombre effect, but you can feel free to outline your ribbon however you see fit. Use your detail brush, or you can use the side of your flat brush at a 45-degree angle. Just be very careful if you're using your flat brush because you don't want to put too much paint on the outline. This part can be a little tricky, but we're going to get into our lettering and filling in. So I told you earlier that that was done and traced in permanent marker, so you would be able to see through the paint even if you paint over the word. So I'm just going in with my flat brush and I'm turning it. It's actually about 90 degrees in this case, or very close to it, to carefully fill in that black for the word grateful. You can use whatever color you want to fill that in. Just follow the tracing if you have the pre-traced canvas. If you don't have a pre-traced canvas, feel free to use acrylic paint markers, or you can just freehand with your own handwriting with whatever brush you're comfortable using. For our final touches, I'm going to use some white and some very pale orange, meaning I just used the orange that I had earlier and added a little bit of white to it to make kind of like a creamsicle orange. And I'm just going to put random highlights on the painting, and then I'm going to go back in and go over it with that pale orange so it's not so harsh. These lines aren't so harsh. You can feel free to do whatever highlighting you want. You can choose to do no highlighting. It's totally up to you. If you are a master painter, you can always feel free to go over this again after this video to make it more personal, make it more crisp, add some details that may not have been in our reference photo. But yeah, you can just see me adding in the white and kind of smearing it. So it looks kind of interesting, a little bit of a rustic look. have it. We are done with our Grateful Pumpkin virtual paint party. This is my final look. Yours probably looks even more awesome. So don't forget to have fun whenever you're doing these virtual paint and sips, and I'm going to see you on the next one.